Hi students, this is Ms. Kruger. I'm making a video to support you with the coordinate plane. Edmentum gives you videos, but I just still want us to feel connected, and I still want you to feel like I'm here to support you. So just a quick disclaimer, and be patient with me as I learn how to use this new platform and share my screen and all these things. We're going to get through this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you now. There is, we are going to learn, well, it looks like that. Our learning target is I can graph points in all 4 quadrants using, wow, using ordered pairs of rational numbers. Now, we remember rational numbers are fractions, decimals, anything like that. So you can graph these numbers, and I'm confident that y'all are smart kids. Again, to break that learning target down just a little bit more, is the student will learn how to identify each quadrant, graph points in each quadrant, locate points in each quadrant, and reflect across the x-axis, y-axis, and x and y-axis. Now, this isn't typically a part of the 6th grade curriculum, but since Edmentum has added it to that video, hey, it's just another opportunity to learn something that will benefit you in the next grade level. So let's go ahead and continue. So here is our coordinate grid, and we're just going to identify each quadrant. So 5th graders, y'all worked in quadrant 1. Let me make my pen a little thicker. In quadrant 1, where our x's were positive and our y's were positive. So y'all worked with positive and positives as 5th graders. On the coordinate plane, we rotate counterclockwise. So this is quadrant 2. Notice our x values are now negative, and our y values are positive. So just using my highlighter to kind of show that my x's are negative and my y's are positive. Still moving counterclockwise down into quadrant 3. This is our double negative quadrant. So our x's are still negative, but now our y's have changed to negative y. So that's the double negative quadrant. And moving right along into quadrant 4, where our x's are back to being positive, but our y's are still negative. So this is our positive, oh, that's highlighted. This is our positive negative quadrant. Okay, so you need to be able to look at this and say, oh, that's quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so not too bad. Now let's get over here into locating points. If I give you points, you need to be able to take those points and locate them and identify the x and y values. So let's get started. Using my blue for x, we always start at the origin and move down our x-axis. So we have identified here that our x is in between -4 and -5. So x value is -4 and a half. Remember, I can give you rational numbers. Now let's look for our y value. This is our y-axis. My y is 4. Okay, back to the origin. Let's go for our next point. Again, travel down the x-axis. And here we are at -3. And looking, so I'm going to get my come down to -3. Now let's look for our y, which is -5. Again, that's our double negative quadrant, so that matches up with what we already know about the quadrant. And our last point, traveling down my x-axis, noticing my x, I'm on the positive side, not quite at a whole number, I'm right in the middle, so my x value is a +3.5, and my y value is a -5. 3. So we have those points, we've located them, and we've identified our x and y. Let's go over here to where we do the graphing. I give you the point, you graph it. Or in this case, I graph it, and you learn from it. So again, same process. We are going to our x value first, positive 2.5. So traveling down, starting at our origin, going down to 2.5. And then our y value is negative 5. So going down to negative 5, that puts us right about there. So I have graphed that point. Next one, x is negative 3. So back to the origin I go, over to negative 3. And then my second value is negative 7. So I need to go down into a negative y right here. And my point, not the prettiest point, but it is right there. And my last one, x is negative 4. So back to the origin I go, over to negative 4. And then my y value is a positive 6.5. So I want to go up to positive 6. And it's rational, so I'm going to go up about right there, halfway through. That should be about 6.5. You can go over if you'd like to. And there you have it. We have graphed these 3 points. We already know that this is 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Kind of re-emphasize that again. So let's go over here to our final section, probably the one we're going to spend a little bit more time in, and that is reflecting across x and y. So reflect over the x-axis. I already put a point there for you. And now let's go ahead and jot down those, the ordered pair. So right now, x is, I'm getting a little blue pen, starting at our origin. My x is negative 4. And my y is 3. So now we're going to take, let me make that negative a little. Right now, we're going to take this point and we're going to reflect it over the x-axis. Now, remember, reflection, looking in the mirror. So we want to look in the mirror across the x-axis. So again, grab my handy dandy highlighter. This is our x-axis. So if I am here, I want to look across the x-axis, and my face should be over here if this was the person. So I'm going to take my dot, and my x value isn't going to change at all. I'm still here. My x is still going to be negative 4, but my y is what's changing. So I'm still at negative 4, but instead of being at a positive 3, I'm at this negative 3. And this is his reflection over the x-axis, okay? And that new point would be negative 4, negative 3. So A to B, reflecting over the x-axis, okay? So now, again, picturing A as a person, we are going to take our A, and now we want to reflect in the mirror that's on the other side of the y-axis. So using my highlighter, again, this is our y-axis here, and I want to see my face on the other side of the y. So I want to look over here on this side. So right now, we already know that this point is negative 4, negative 3. Now the thing about this is the y is not going to change because I'm just reflecting over here. It's my x that's changing when I'm reflecting over the y-axis. So if I'm looking here, my reflection over the y is right here. So my y stayed exactly the same. y stayed exactly the same, and my x changed from -4 to a +4. Okay, so that there's a lot of highlighting and stuff going on. When we're reflecting over the x-axis, we want to look across x at our mirror image across the x. And when we're reflecting over the y, then we want to look at what is our mirror image on the other side of y. So that, again, there's a lot going on this picture, so if you need to replay that a couple times, do that. I'm going to give us a fresh point because I have one more reflection to show you, and that's the reflection over the x and the y. It's just 2 steps instead of 1. So let's get a new point here. I'm going to put a blue point. I don't know, where's it least messy? Let's go like right here. Well, that's not pretty. Let me get a pen. Okay, so we're going to pretend that's a nice little dot. Okay, so let's go ahead. That point, x is 6 and y is 6. So right now I'm at 6, 6. And I want to reflect over the x and the y. So I need, that's 2 steps here. So 6, 6, and we already know this is x. So we want to see our mirror image on this side. So when I reflect over the x-axis, my x is still the same, but my y value has gone to a -6. Gosh, I wish that looked more like 6. Okay, now I've only reflected over the x. I still need to reflect over the y. So I'm going to take my point. We know we just went across x. Now I need to go across y. And here is going to be my mirror image on the other side of y. Now this time, my y is still this -6, but my x is now -6. So now I am in quadrant 3, the double negative quadrant, which these coordinates right here make sense. It is the double negative. So if I'm reflecting over x and y, then I need to make sure that I am moving 2 times, x and y. Another connection you might make is, here, I'm going to do it in yellow, is when I'm reflecting over both axes, look how I wound up. It was diagonal across from it. So that's just another way to look at it, because here I have crossed my x and y axis. But if you want to break it down little by little, you can reflect over the x and then over the y, and you will get to the same place. So let me come back here. That is the end of the video. Please feel free to stop it and replay it as often as you need to. And don't hesitate to email me, call me, FaceTime me, whatever you need to do to get the support you need to be successful. I'm here for you, and you know how to reach out to me. Miss you guys.